in a virtual world is my topic.
Awesome job. I'm excited that you're doing that topic because you know what? We can all utilize a little more every time. Take it away, Dr. Pat.
You want me to take it away? It's on me?
Go, Dr. Pat, go.
Okay. Am I doing my, okay, what I'm doing, I guess I'm doing my presentation, my presentation.
Turn,
I thought you just wanted the topic. But I'm Dr. Patricia Rogers, and I am the CEO of Unity in Service. And what Unity in Service does is we host dynamic virtual events, empowering entrepreneurs to elevate their authority, expand your visibility, share your expertise, and build impactful connections through public speaking opportunities. And that's huge because investing in a speaking opportunity is investing into your business. My strength lies in my commitment to assisting others, whether it's by training them how to speak, how to organize their message, whether it's to increase their visibility or elevate others through their public speaking platforms. My dedication to service amplifies my impact and influence because I believe that networking is the bloodline to my success. And I've been doing that very well for 10 years because it works, ladies and gentlemen. It works. And if I would like to just give you all 5 tips that would assist you on your journey, on this entrepreneur journey, one would be leveraging your social media consistently. And that word consistently is the key to that sentence. You have to be consistent on social media. And I know that social media is a place that many of us since the pandemic still do not like to go. But I can tell you from experience that when you are consistent, trust me when I tell you, people begin to watch your content that you're posting. And if it's professional and interesting, they will begin to engage and interact with you. And of course, when they begin to interact with you and engage with you, guess what happens? The magic happens. And what happens is that's when we start to build profitable relationships. And that could be in so many forms. It could be a person that wants to invest in your products or services. It could be a person that maybe knows somebody who wants to invest in your product or services. And of course, it could be connecting with people who want to partner with you, as well as those that we collaborate with on a daily basis, such as organizations and things of that nature, communities such as we are here, community. I think LaDonna has about 50 events in 30 days. That's a bonus, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my God, never seen it happen before, but she makes it happen. And that's what it's about, because the more we plug into her, the more we grow. At every event, we have speakers on all platforms. And I tell people all the time, the knowledge that we get from the speakers that people like organizers like ourselves bring forth is not even equatable to the money that they pay for the ticket. And another thing is, just like I said, engaging in public speaking. Public speaking is an investment into your business. How many times have I had people scheduled on my calendar and they tell me, oh, I don't pay for public speaking opportunities. And of course, I take pleasure in telling them that, well, guess what? This platform is not for you because hosting events is a business. It's work to put these banners together. We have to pay people. We have to pay for everything just like everybody else. I even have to pay Eventbrite because I tell people why. How is it that they say, well, why are you using Eventbrite? The fees are so high. Well, first of all, I'm going in on that. If I hang around 5 broke people, I'm going to be number 6. So guess what? Keep it moving because we have to pay those people to do to use their products and services because they have families to feed too. So in the midst of all of that, education, and it's all about changing the mindsets of people. So those things that we weren't doing this year because I'm just saying because we feel like we want free. Well, free does not pay bills, ladies and gentlemen. And what I don't understand is this. I tell people, you're telling me you want to come on my platform. How much is your product that you want to promote to the attendees that we have to round up? Oh, I have a $3,000 package. I have a $500 package. And you want me to bring you on my platform to promote your product and sell to the people that me and my team have had to fight and muster up. And we get nothing. Ladies and gentlemen, it don't add up. And it's all about the mindset. If you know you have products that you want to sell to other people, it only makes sense that we are givers and we give to other people because I'm going to tell you, for me, every time I give, it comes back in so many other ways. It may not come from the same person, but I can say this all my life, giving. And sometimes I get up, I get my feelings hurt. Well, God, I just went to their event. They didn't even get my ticket to mine. Well, that don't even matter no more. Those days are over. Why? Because God rains down those blessings to me over and over. And it all comes because I am visible on social media. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And the last thing, how many minutes I have left? The last thing I want to talk about is optimizing your online presence. And when I talk about that, meaning I want to say you're optimizing your profile presence, because a lot of people do not have pictures on their profiles. They do not have good scripts on their profile. They do not have the banner on their profile. And I'm talking about people who have spoken at some of our events that I've had, because I connect. Anybody that registers for my events, anybody that I talk to on my calendar, I immediately connect with them on Facebook. I immediately connect with them on LinkedIn. So I get to see a lot, ladies and gentlemen. I get to see a lot. I'm a visibility strategist. Visibility strategists are nosy. We nosy. Anybody that talks about visibility, we're nosy. We see these things that other people don't see. And that also enables me, when I do that, enables me, it opens up a door of opportunity for me to, guess what, make a sale. Because if I see something, I say something. And again, sometimes people say, oh, okay, I didn't know that. And sometimes I do it for free, and sometimes I do it for a fee. It just depends on the circumstances. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to you, LaDonna. And again, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not there, nobody sees you. And visibility is about staying in front of as many people as possible. And with all the platforms out there, we have about 16 platforms. I'm not telling you to stay on all the platforms, but you got to figure out what works for you, because all platforms are not equal. But again, as it relates to social media, there are 4.5 billion or more people on social media. And if you're not there, you're leaving money on the table. I'm Dr. Patricia Rogers, visibility strategist, and I am the CEO of Unity in Service, where people need people. Over to you, LaDonna.
Yes, powerful. That is brilliant. Thank you. Now, this is the time that we want you to speak. Ask Dr. Patricia Rogers about what she just talked about. Talk to her, ask her questions, get that theory out of your head that maybe you can do this and maybe you can do that. No, ask her, but let's keep it to what her topic was about. So we're going to open the floor up. Use your hands. Let's ask those questions. Who has a question for Dr. Pat? All right, Tamara, I'm volunteering you. Unmute, please. I know Tamara has questions.
Well, hi, Dr. Pat. Nice to see you. My question would be, how do you continue to be consistent? I could start off real good for like 2 or 3 days in a row. I do real good. Boom, 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 like 4 or 5 messages in a row. And then I kind of die off. And then I go back up and I do it again. And then I'm like, hi. How do you find that consistency all the way through?
Wow. Okay, I'm glad you asked that question. I guess I'm glad you asked that question. I can only tell you from my perspective. And I'm glad you brought up open confession. Tamara, is good for the soul. I'm glad you confessed. And you know what? That's the first step. The first step is acknowledging our weaknesses. And when we acknowledge them and be aware of them, then we can address them. And what I would say to you as it relates to being consistent, all of us, when we're on social media, a lot of times, and I see you trying, you do real good for a while, like you said, and then I don't see you, but you start posting, but you're there. So don't beat yourself up, because if you're not doing a live video, you're still posting. And that's very important, because anytime we post, people get to click our little profile picture and it takes us to our profiles, which is why our profiles need to be in order. But consistency is not about how many people respond to your posts. Y'all agree? Consistency is about me posting on social media. And I believe when I post, everybody's going to see my stuff. It's all about the mindset. And I know they're seeing it. You know why? Because if I get on Facebook in a bikini, I'm going to get over 2,000, 3,000 hits. So those same people are seeing your stuff when you post about your product or your service. So you post as if that platform belongs to you. And when you're done posting, you pat yourself on the back and say, I did my social media for the day. The rest is none of your business. But they're looking for you when you start 2, 3, 4 days. They're looking. They may never say anything, but trust me when I tell you, they're looking. And then those analytics, you got to watch those analytics because these platforms tell us how we are doing. And when I do a little bit better and a little bit better, that also raises my confidence. So whatever I do or you do or we do, don't stop because people are always watching.
Yes.
Thank you,
And I
Dr.
hope I
Pat.
answered.
Yes. And Sherri, do you have anything that you would like to add to that?
No, I actually really love what she said, but I also think that I guess I would add, the only thing I would add is that there is some sort of internal motivation. Like we can't motivate somebody else. We can only motivate ourselves. And actually, action is what actually creates motivation. So it's when you don't do it that you lose momentum. So I think I would maybe tell yourself there's a different reason for doing it and that it's the discipline of the action. It isn't that I have to be fancy or I have to be some kind of way. You have to be present. Like Dr. Pat said, you have to be visible. It isn't that you have to be perfect every time. And I think sometimes that's what causes people to run or hide or duck and hide because they don't know what to say today or whatever. But just be present is a huge part of it. And if you don't know, here's like, to me, it's a tip. If you don't know what to post Dr. Pat's post, share somebody else's post. There is a lot to be said about somebody who will actually share someone else's business, whatever they're doing without expectation of any return. You create good relationships that way too. Dr. Pat's exceptional at that. And so there is never a time when you don't have something you can post. And if you don't know what to post, drop in somebody's inbox, like one of us, and say, hey, I need something to post. You got anything you're doing? That is a way to win for you, but also a way to win for the other person. And you will feel so good about doing it. That's just the only thing dropped in.
Awesome. And how about you, Marla? Do you have anything to add to this?
It's so funny. So I don't know if you can see this, but on my computer is the sticky, do it consistently regardless of results. That's been sitting there for a long time. And it's a good reminder. Just do it consistently because consistency is the key. It really is. And, on social media, for example, you never know who's going to see your stuff consistently because we can't see everybody's posts. Right? Unless we scroll for hours, we're not going to see everybody. So you have to be consistent so that at least some of the time they're going to see you. And as far as what to post, I think that's really true. Some of us, I don't know what to post today. You could just put up a picture. It doesn't even have to be a great saying or a great video. I mean, I believe you want to mix it up. So some days you have a great saying, some days you have a great video, but some days it could just be a picture of anything about you because it just keeps you front and center. And it also helps you index on Google, which is a whole other topic we won't get into. But it's very, very important to be consistent. And I think that, the other thing too is for us to think about, there's a lot of things in business that aren't as fun as others, right? But we still need to do them, whether it's, checking out our finances or blocking our calendars or making sales calls. Some things we like more than others. But think of the end goal. What do you really want? What do you want? And what's it going to take to get there? And being consistent is one of the most important keys. And thanks, Tamara, for bringing that out for all of us, because who hasn't struggled with that at some point, being consistent, especially on social media? We've all been there. So that's a great, great question.
Okay, and it is. And I want to just close with this one on my end. Tamara, I meant to say this when I was talking. Posting, a good way also for us to be consistent is by scheduling our posts. And I teach people that in my private sessions. Scheduling your posts. I've taught it on LaDonna's platform. If you learn how to schedule those posts, because I'm going to Spain. My stuff is already being scheduled for next week because I'm not going to be here. But my stuff is going to be going out constantly. And all I have to do is go back and engage when I get a break. So that's definitely helpful when you learn how. And every platform that we are on, whatever your favorite platform is, they allow you to schedule for free. All we have to do is learn how to use them. And that's where I come in, Tamara. Schedule with me, honey. I'll be glad to teach you a few things. 1 hour, you'll learn a whole lot in 1 hour. And the fee is very small. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Training is essential, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. We're never smart enough. We're never trained enough. And we will never have enough coaches in our lives. That's just the way it is. We all need coaches. strategists and mentors and just keep learning. One thing I want to add, and then we're going to go to Richard because he had his hand up, to everyone. I know that sometimes, and I've been guilty about doing this, that I beat myself up because I didn't go live today, or I didn't post here, or I didn't call SpongeBob, or I didn't get back to Scooby-Doo, whatever it is. Don't beat yourself up. Do what you can do. Today, for instance, on Sundays, there's no one here but me and the fur babies. I get so much work done. But on Thursdays, husband is home. And when Big Daddy is home, I get nothing done or very little. Because now my mind is consumed about what he wants to do and what he wants me to be doing with him. Don't beat yourself up. And I love rewarding myself, Tamra. If I do everything on my to-do list, maybe I'll have that second cup of coffee, or maybe I'll carve time to go play in the dirt with my flower beds. It doesn't have to be costly. It doesn't have to be huge. Just reward yourself. Even if you don't have as much productivity as you wanted today, go ahead and reward yourself anyway, because you'll be better for it tomorrow when we start over again. Every morning I get up. Thank you, God, for another day. I am blessed. Number 2, I get up, I get dressed, and I show up. It may not look the same as it yesterday or look the same tomorrow, but today I showed up. So remember that, okay? Richard, what question did you have for Dr. Pat?
Yeah, Dr. Pat, you had alluded during your presentation that there's multiple platforms. For people, obviously, many of the people here are very experienced, but if they're talking to somebody who's a newbie, or even if it's an experienced person who's just not been on social media for a long time, do you recommend just starting with one platform and understand that, or do you more go with the approach where you just try and hit multiple platforms at once? I'd like your opinion.
Wow. Okay. Okay, Richard, I'm glad you asked that question because that's in my PowerPoint when I go to Spain. But yeah, one thing that I went in as many platforms. I pretty much have tried them all through the Snapchat, Pinterest. It's about 15 of them. I pretty much have tried the majority of them all. And what happens is we can try them to see what works because only I know the audience that I'm trying to attract. And what happened in the long run was I eventually realized the ones that work for me best. Where are my ticket sales coming from? Where are my clients coming from who wants coaching? Where are my people coming from that wants to be like interviews? Bottom line is, after I get that kind of narrowed down, then those are the platforms that I am consistently on. And that's Facebook for me, LinkedIn, as well as TikTok now. Got a few people coming from TikTok. I got a few people coming. That's the whole point. We don't know where they're coming from. But if those platforms work for me, I go ahead and I just hang out on those platforms. Alignable, I've had people from my event come from Alignable, but again, we don't know where they're coming from. So you got to just play with this thing and whatever platforms, even at my events now, I ask people, who's here from TikTok? Who's here from Facebook? I want to know. And then I look at that. I want to know where the statistics are coming from. So that's one way that I have been able to weed out a lot of platforms that was not for me. All platforms are not equal. Did I answer your question?
Yes, Dr. Pat. Just one follow-up on that. If some people may only have a limited amount of time, in that case, should they just focus on one? Or maybe I'm concerned about them doing a poor job if they only have 10 minutes a day or 15 minutes a day to try and hit multiple platforms. What do you think about that?
They don't have to hit multiple a day if they want it. I'm just saying, you may mention if they started out. If I'm starting out, I'm checking out all the platforms, and I have been on all of them. But again, like I said, all of them, I didn't like all of them. So eventually I'm going to weed them out, and then get on the ones. Now, as far as time limit is concerned, I'm going to tell anybody 10 minutes is not enough to do anything. 10 minutes only give me time to go to the bathroom. So if we're going on social media, we have to go in with intentions. And that means when we get on social media, we have to go on social media with the intention of building a network or letting people know who we are. And that's based on the content that we post. But no, I don't recommend people go in on every day on every platform. I take one a day, take one a week, one whatever, just test it out, But at the end of the day, whatever platform we decide to be on, we must be consistent. And that's why I said scheduling gives me a timeline. I can do it if I post a certain time every day. Same thing with YouTube. If we post a certain time every day, people are going to start to see us. And so consistency is really the key. Even if we post once a week on a paid platform, consistently, our numbers are going to go up, meaning when I say numbers, meaning more people are going to see you, better than not posting at all. But posting on which platform you post on that works for you is up to every individual, because everybody's looking for a different type of audience. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you. Marla, would you like to add to this?
Sure. Yeah. So it's really interesting because each platform is a little different. So LinkedIn's a little bit more just for business and you want to have a certain professionalism on that. Facebook is a little bit more on the friendlier side and more personal. Instagram is really like a glossy magazine where you just want to have everything look really, really sharp and you're not necessarily saying as much, or doing reels will stand out more than doing just posting a photo. So there is some nuances to the different ones. If you have little time, hopefully you have more than 10 minutes, but if you have just a little bit of time, I'd say post the exact same content on 2 or 3 platforms at the exact same time. So you're not reinventing the wheel. But are they going to play the same on each platform? Not necessarily, but just when you're starting out, try that and then see what kind of response you get. And then it's good to, talk to a coach so they can tell you a little bit more about how to handle each platform. But when you're starting out, just put it out there. You can do a live through a service. I use Restream. Some people like StreamYard. And that way you can even do a live video and post to 5 platforms at the same exact time. That saves a lot of time. So in live videos, when you do something live, then people get notifications that you're going live. So there's a big plus with that versus just doing a post that not as many people will see. So as long as they have their notifications on, they're going to say, oh, Richard Brooks is live now. And then it really boosts your visibility. So there is a lot to it, but start it with at least a couple of them and just post the same thing.
Okay. All right. Sherri, what do you have to say on this for Richard?
Well, Richard, I think that a big first question is, who is it that you want to see you? Or whoever you're working with, who is it you're looking for? Because, I just spent the weekend with all of my 3 adult children. They're more on Instagram. If you're looking for that, 25, 35-year-old, maybe that's where you want to be. I think it depends on your product. Yes, you can gain ground in all of them if you're consistent, but where is your customer? Who are you trying to reach? Because I think, like I do post on LinkedIn. Sometimes I get frustrated because I get so prospected in LinkedIn that it really frustrates me. I feel like people are more willing to build relationships in Facebook. It's why I spend more time there, but also that's actually where I think a lot of my target audience hangs out. But I'm happy to be in either one, and I do swim in each pond, so to speak. But you got to know where the person you really that ideal client, where they are. And that's where you should start. And if it doesn't feel right to you, then I think that's maybe a different conversation. Or you ask somebody or pay somebody to help you if it's not a place that you love swimming, but you need to be there anyway.
Awesome. Can I tap what Sherri said something, LaDonna? Do I have a minute to tap into something she said?
Go ahead.
Sherri, I love the fact that you brought that up about LinkedIn, because you're right. And I used to feel the same way about LinkedIn. And I'm going to give y'all a nugget. Everybody on here, I'm going to give y'all a nugget. I hope that it helps. We do get prospected a lot on LinkedIn because people do not have the values and the training that we have had, especially here in the US. But you know what I do? I call it reversing the sale. When they prospect me, I prospect them. I said, you know what? I love the services that you're promoting. And you know what? I host virtual events for public speakers to speak and promote their products and services. And I would love to have you on our platform as a speaker. And I dropped that link. I already know they're not going to come. But guess what? That's another person that knows what I do, because it's all about branding. So don't, and I hear a lot of times people run from LinkedIn because they get tired. No, 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 no. Nobody's going to run me from any platform. I did that a long time ago when I didn't know, but I got a business now. So what I do is reverse the sale. And that's what I call it, because that's a mind thing. I reverse the sale. You could send me your information. Here it is. Let me see. Let me tell you what I do. How about that? Bring that message on. Bring it to my magazine. Bring all that, So that's what I'm saying. I just wanted to share that because I know what you're talking about. But no, I reverse that thing.
Every contact is a potential client and someone you can help. So yeah, but or you could just ignore some of it too. So
and ignore it, yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. And one other thing that I want to bring up, and I agree with everything these three ladies have said. I've seen it, I've heard it, I've taught it, I've coached it, I've mentored it. And one last thing I would like to add to it is that I get people from all kinds of businesses that I coach and mentor and strategize with, but they'll say, I don't like social media. Well, get over it, because if you're going to be in business, you must do social media somewhere, somehow, and swim from each bucket to the next, because that is the way it is. I also teach them, I always ask, which platforms are you familiar with, you already use, and you feel comfortable with? 9 times out of 10, it's Facebook. 9 times out of 10, Facebook. So I always tell them, start there. Let's start there today, not tomorrow, not next week. Let's post something. Let's go live something today. Now let's add on one more. I always suggest LinkedIn because that's usually the next thing up on their list in my age group. Now, if it's someone like Sherri said, 25 to 35 to 40, usually it's Instagram or TikTok that they want to go to, and then grow from there. And I will agree with Dr. Pat, what she said, 10 minutes. It takes me that long to just get my computer ready to go. So you're going to need more than that. And I know, Richard, that was just minutes that you put out there. But always, when you're talking to someone, just get them to start. Just start. If they're a writer and they want to write, just start. If they want to write a book, just start. If they want to learn how to put a puzzle together, just start. Whatever it is, start somewhere. Start with your familiar area and then grow from there, is what I have to say. So I hope that helped, Richard.
I want to compliment Richard, because from the time I met Richard has I met him on a line, but he was not on LinkedIn. Richard is popping on LinkedIn. And I understand, Richard, like I said, I don't know how many people respond, but I know when I see your post, and that's another thing, when we see each other's posts, we need to respond. But another thing that I do to I tag those of you, and Richard, you know it, I tag those of you, Alicia, Margaret, LaDonna, I tag those of you who I know will comment on my posts. And that's key, because those people who are looking at your posts, you want to get a minute of, you can tag me anytime, because I know what it's about. I know how it goes. And those people who are looking on, they're nosy. People are curious. Wow, they got a lot of hits on that post. Let me see what that's about. And before you know it, but I'm saying sometimes we're doing it alone, and it takes a team. Me, Margaret, Jasmine, Jasama, we got an agreement. We see each other's stuff. We need to tag, and we need to hit that repost. Yeah. So these are nuggets I'm giving y'all, because I can't think of everything when I was talking to Donna, but it comes to me as I'm talking. Those are nuggets. Tag and hit the repost. We say we support one another, then let's do that. But again, sometimes we need to tag each other, because if you're not connected to them, and all these people on this platform right now, we all need to be connected to one another. And when you're tagging, tag 4 or 5 people. And like you said, and also when you do your posts, ChatGPT will give you can tell ChatGPT, write me a post about visibility. I tell it 25 words, 50 words. And I said, add tags to it too. They'll give me just that, give me the tags. It's no reason why we can't, because everything has been created for us. And I'm sharing that because it works well for me. I don't feel like writing all the time. I use ChatGPT, and I know so that's another nugget, that maybe when you're posting, ChatGPT will create a banner for you. I tell her, give me a banner that says, well done. create an image that says well done, because I'm complimenting people on their post. I post that banner, put a smiley, I'm gone. So social media is not difficult to use. It's just that sometimes we don't know of some of the strategies that will work. And then Richard knows when I'm on an event, especially the free events that he does every Friday and Saturday, I share information because a lot of people don't know. And these nuggets, like I said, we get so many free nuggets from people when we attend networking events that will help boost us in our, on our success journey.
Yes.
So tag me anytime.
Yes. I met Dr. Pat on LinkedIn. She kept posting and posting and posting, and one day I said, I'm going to reach out to this woman and find out what she's all about.
Yes, you did.
Here we are. I mean, and we have done so many collaborations, so much networking, and it's amazing. So don't be scared. Just do it. Just do it. All right. With that said, we are going to move on to our next panelist. Oh, go ahead, Alicia, real quick, please.
I just wanted to say I'm enjoying the talk, but here's the question. For those who have other activities other than their business, can you speak to how, okay, let me use myself. I'm also in school full-time and I have my business. So how do you manage to make posts consistently when you have other activities?
Okay, you know what? I'm going to answer this, if you don't mind, Alicia, because of our time. I want to go back to a couple of things that the three panelists have said. This would be a great example of scheduling your post. Maybe you don't have school on Sunday, and maybe between church or whatever, maybe that's the perfect time to sit down and schedule your post for the week. Okay. That would be a great thing to do. It's kind of like prepping your meals for the week. You're prepping your posts for the week, okay? And I'm going to tell you, we're all busy doing different stuff, doing the life thing. And I know I'm having this conversation with my youngest daughter right now. She's starting a new school on the 18th, and we're scheduling everything with the 5-year-old, with dinners and everything. So this is my favorite saying, and Tamara and Heather have heard it over and over again. If it's not on my calendar, it does not exist. Put everything on your calendar. When I clean my bathrooms, it's on the calendar. When I clean my kitchen, it's on the calendar. Everything is on that calendar. It keeps me from going down the rabbit holes, from getting lost in whatever it may be. It's on my calendar. It's blocked off. That's the only way you can make it work. Everything works better when it's scheduled. Would you agree, everyone? And they've all kind of talked about it. Schedule, 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 calendar. Calendar is one of the most important tools. And so many people that I run into, they don't utilize their calendar, or they don't utilize it efficiently. So always remember that. With that said, Marla, please tell us a little bit about you, the topic of your talk, and take it away, my friend.
Woohoo, I'm taking it. All right. So, oh my gosh, this is so much fun. Thanks for doing this, LaDonna. This is a great discussion. And my topic is staying relaxed and relevant for the holidays. And oh my gosh, staying relaxed, not so easy sometimes, because, all right, raise your hand if you've ever felt any stress whatsoever around the holidays. Hello. Yes, that's pretty much all of us. And it's so true. Even good stress, right? Because not all stress is bad stress. Good stress can be seeing your family you don't get to see often enough. It could be having visitors. It could be cooking a wonderful meal, but it's still a stress on your normal routine. And sometimes people get overwhelmed by it. So how do you stay relaxed during the holidays? And part of that is mindset, of course. Part of it is doing self-care. So what brings you joy? Is it a walk? If it's shopping, hey, go shop, whatever floats your boat, right? Just do things that bring you joy and relaxation. Could be watching some TV show that, other people, you'd be embarrassed to tell them you watched it, but go for it, right? Whatever it is, find things that really help you, because it is more stressful for many reasons. There's more to do. There's, the whole buying presents thing. There's finances. There's thinking about, oh my gosh, this is the end of another year. Am I where I want to be? So there's all of that. There's the personal stress, then there's the business stress. Have I accomplished what I wanted to this year? Am I where I want to be financially? So those all bring extra stress at this time of year. So besides doing things that bring you joy, the other thing I want to do with you, and LaDonna especially, but several of you have seen me do a number of different quick exercises with people to help them be more authentic, be more relaxed and calm, have better messages. But I just want to do the quickest one I have, which is just sort of close your eyes for a moment, or you can look down if you feel better doing that, and just bring all your attention to your heart. And just know that your heart, it's not just this physical thing in you. Your heart is your place of self-love and self-acceptance and love and acceptance for others. And just really feel that you have this inside of you. And then bring that energy into your belly. Your belly with all its serotonin is this wonderful place of groundedness, of collective energy and knowing, of resourcefulness. And it's this beautiful place inside of you that when you go there, it's just kind of let yourself just sink into it for a moment. Yeah. And just feel the joy of, you can tune things out, and that doesn't mean you don't want to deal with it later, but just know that you always have this wonderful, comforting place inside of you, and you can just go in there quickly, or you can take more time if you like to meditate or things like that. But even going in there for 10 seconds can make a big difference. So go ahead and open your eyes. Yeah. And just know that you have that resource and that tool anytime you want to just go inside and just be really, really part of who you are, not all the stuff that's around you, not all the clutter that's up in your head. And that's one way to relax. And it's also, sleeping and eating and all those things that you need to do, exercise, but do things that bring you joy. And then I also wanted to talk about relevance, because the holidays are a great time to be relevant. I suggest, as a speaker, as a communicator, and a business owner, you want to be relevant at all times, right? So we've talked a lot about social media. Let's talk about that. So the next holiday coming up, not for everybody, because not everybody's in the US, but if you're in the US, Thanksgiving is a biggie for us, right? So do some posts about Thanksgiving. You can do a personal one about what you're going to be doing, or you can do one that you can you can take any topic and make it about business. So what is it about Thanksgiving? Is it about being grateful? Is it about being thankful for what you have? Is it about being thankful for your business and bringing that into your business? How can you make the message about the holiday be relevant? Because when you're doing something relevant, you just bring people in automatically because everybody can relate to it. And Christmas, not everybody celebrates Christmas, right? I don't celebrate Christmas, but a lot of people celebrate Christmas. And so whatever holiday you celebrate, it could be Kwanzaa, it could be anything, right? Talk about that. And then you're going to have some people that can just understand that this is a holiday that is worth celebrating and what's cool about it. For example, Hanukkah, a lot of people don't know what Hanukkah is. They just think it's like the Jewish Christmas, because we do presents also. But Hanukkah has business lessons in it. And I'll just really briefly mention what those are. Number one, the word Hanukkah means dedication. That's what it means. And they rededicated their temple that was destroyed by the Syrian army. So can we rededicate ourselves to our business at this time of year? You could do a whole post about that. Or the other thing is miracles. Another thing that Hanukkah celebrates is the Festival of Miracles, because they only had oil for one night and it lasted 8 nights. That's why they celebrate for 8 nights. But how can we think about, are there small miracles that you can invite into your life? Do you believe in miracles? So these are things that can be relevant, even though everybody doesn't celebrate Hanukkah or everybody doesn't celebrate Christmas or Kwanzaa or whatever other holidays are this time of year, even Thanksgiving. but you can, when you talk about it in such a way that it becomes relevant for everybody, because everybody can relate to these other themes, then it just brings people in. And, you know, we also talked about what are we going to say on social media on a daily basis? Talk about what happened that morning. It could be with your kids. It could be putting your clothes on. It could be, you know, you fell in the bathroom. I mean, it could be funny something when you were driving. It could be so many different things. And you know what? People pay more attention to those kinds of posts than they do when you're trying to teach them something. When you're trying to just give them information. I shouldn't say teach them because these are lessons, right? These are lessons. What do you do when you drop your phone in the toilet? You know, what do you do? And what do you do when, you know, you're stuck in traffic and you really have to be somewhere? What decisions do you make? How do you feel emotionally? You know, things that happen with your kids, all of that daily life, you know, being late at the airport and almost missing your plane. You know, I have a story about that. There's so many things that are relevant that people can relate to. That makes you human, you relatable. And that's what people love. You know, it's funny, they say people love the behind the scenes look. So when I do a speaking event, sometimes I'll say, well, this is the hotel I'm in, and these are how I decided what I was going to wear. And that gets just as many views as the event itself. So it doesn't have to be this really far out material or all this brilliant stuff, even though some of it you're going to be brilliant. Of course you will. But some of it can just be everyday things that we can all relate to. So being relevant, and you know, and you want to be relevant, you want to also study your craft. How can you give people cutting edge material that they're not getting everywhere else? That's also being relevant, by being on top of your expertise and really showing people that you have that expertise. That's another way to stay relevant. And then I'll just finish with this too, because we started with people get unrelaxed. They get a little stressed when it comes to thinking about their business and it being the end of a year. And so I'd say start now, planning your January, February, March, planning your first quarter. Set up some speaking gigs now, because a lot of speaking happens, they get scheduled way ahead, some a year out, but certainly some a few months out. So start now in putting things on your calendar for the first quarter of next year. And that just makes the flow going into the year so much more relaxed, because you have a plan, because you've gone out of your way to make your success. And that's just one way. There's so many ways that we could talk about on how to really feel good about finishing the year strong and how we upscale into the next year. And one other thing, do I have another couple of minutes, LaDonna? Yeah, so another thing that I've gotten much better at, and so I'm spreading the word that, you know, we do so much online and we are bombarded with information left and right, and people are anxious. And calling people on the phone is one of the best ways you can grow your business immediately, because people don't expect it. Like, who does that, right? Who calls people on the phone? We're all emailing and texting and, you know, trying to put stuff out there to the void on social media. But calling someone one-on-one and saying, hey, I care about you. Hey, I thought of you today because, and of course you want to, you know, have a good reason why you're calling, but really engage that relationship. And a lot of people aren't going to pick up their phone. That's fine. So call them more than once. But a lot of people will pick up the phone and they'll be grateful that you called, that you reached out. So I highly recommend doing that before the end of the year and seeing if you can't get some more business coming in before the holidays really hit you.
That is awesome, Marla. Thank you so very much. Look at how many golden nuggets that
Good
we've
stuff.
already received from Dr. Pat, Marla, Sherri. It's just amazing what we get when we show up for ourselves and our business. Who has a question for Marla? Who has a question for Marla? Heather, do you have any questions for Marla?
As you were saying, I'm like, no, I don't. But I just got back from a almost 3-week long vacation. How do I relate that back to business? Because you're sharing about the excursions you went on are the things that you did, but how can I relate that back to my business?
Yeah, that is a great question. And it is a great thing to do, right? I was saying for holidays, there's always a lesson you can tie into what your business is. So, what is your message? And then how can you tie that to experiences you've had? It could be just, the importance of meeting new people, the importance of getting out of your daily routine and out of your normal environment. Like people become so much more creative when they get outside in nature. It could be down the street. It doesn't have to be on vacation. But on vacation, when you go to a whole new world you haven't seen before, people get more creative. They become more lax. They get out of their cluttered mind. And you could talk about, the finances. You could relate it to, how do you get to the point where you can have a month-long vacation and how you did it? Or you can, there's always a ton of lessons in, give me any topic and I'll tell you a lesson for it, right? So just think about, what does your audience need to hear? And then what would be relevant in what you just did? But those are a few things I could think of for any vacation. Or talk about a very specific thing you saw and how you felt about it. Whatever, you did with sightseeing, what was really, really struck you in that. And people will just go, oh yeah, that's really cool. And so there may not be a direct business message. It might just be, branch out, try new things, or look at this cool thing, and this is why it's so cool. So, not all your posts have to be about lessons. Some of it could just be about sharing, but lots of good opportunities in there. Hopefully you took a bunch of pictures. Yeah.
Sure, Heather did. Dr. Pat, would you like to add something to this?
No, I'm loving what she's saying, because it's true. And when you was talking, Marla, what came to me was, ladies and gentlemen, you don't have to get dressed up and do a special thing to go out and do videos. I agree with you, Marla. When you're out on vacation, take your selfie stick, get somebody to take pictures of you, post it on social media right away. That's what I do. People are nosy and that's the only way they're going to get to know who we are. I love when she brought that up, because it's true. And you're letting them into your world. They want to know more about you. But a lot of times we as entrepreneurs, I'm kind of private. Well, you be private. But if Macy's was private, if Lord & Taylor's and all these different places was private, I would not know where to go to get some nice pumps to go with this nice red dress. So y'all stay private, but I'm not private. I'm a business owner. And you know what? I sell products and services. And the only way people are going to know it, we got to let them in our world.
I love what Sherri said in the chat, private and broke. Sherri, what would you like to add to this?
Oh, I'm just so enjoying it. I can't even tell you. But I think it's so true. Like, you're a walking story, and some people will try to always hold everything so like they're hidden. And I feel like the most abundant people share who they are, right? Like Marla was saying about being relevant. And, Heather, you are relevant, and actually where you were is extremely relevant to your business. It is your business. Like I would have probably people would have been so sick. Well, either so sick or they're so want to go to Polynesia, whatever, because like I would have blown it up with every detail of everything, everywhere we were. People want something when they know what it is. And the more you share it, you're that walking story. This is what we did. This is where we ate. So I always take pictures of my food. I'm a weirdo, but I love seeing other people's picture of their food. It might make me want to go there. I actually totally want to go to Italy from somebody's pictures. They took tons of pictures of their food. But we're a very visual people. And that is part of your story. And I think utilizing that, especially for the part of the travel that you do, it's everything. Make people FOMO, like hardcore. That's my thought.
Yeah, FOMO's a thing.
Yes, I want to add to this what I'm thinking. Still to this date, we were at my daughter's house for dinner. We get together at least once 4 or 5 weeks and have family dinners. And my daughter's bar stool came loose. You know how they wiggle and wobble sometimes. And my husband went out to the truck and got his drill and turned it over. Well, the 5-year-old, of course, wanted to help Papa with the drill. And I got this incredible picture of the boy kind of almost standing on his head with the drill with Papa hanging onto it, fixing the bar stool. I put a post out. Do you ever feel like you're upside down in your business like this young man? Still to this day, it is the post that I have received the most popular everything on, and we've even narrowed it down to LinkedIn was number one, then Facebook. But more people seen that post, said something about it, clicked it, whatever, the most still today. I strongly believe in my head, I have not done a poll on it, I have not Googled it. People want to know we are a person, that we are human, and we're not AI, we're not a robot. When Dr. Pat went on a cruise, she just got back from this fabulous cruise. I love seeing her post. And then I got to see other people because other people I know went on the cruise that I didn't even know about. I can't wait till she goes to Spain. I've never been, but I will live through it with her. Does that make sense? I will see it. Sherri and her husband, if I ever go to that area, I will, eats at this wonderful taco place. She's always putting pictures on it. She didn't know I was going to say this. I look at your post. I know Tamara and her fur babies because she puts them on her post. Tamara, you need to put more pictures. People love it. If you don't have small kids, go borrow someone's small kids and take pictures of them doing quirky little things, running around with one shoe on, 3 or 4 kids running around. Do you have your ducks in a row with these kids hanging out? People want to see fur babies, dogs, cats, gerbils. It doesn't matter. Let them know you are human. People know I'm married to my high school sweetheart. You don't hear it often. It's human. It's not AI. So back to what Marla said, relevance, doing it, you will thrive better if you go ahead and start booking. If you haven't already booked something of speaking for November and December, it is not too late. Go find something. Reach out to me. I always have events, as Dr. Pat says, that you can speak at, that you can learn from, and you can teach. So yes, it's still out there. Book up your January, February, March. It'll be here before we turn around once or twice. And you know what? I do celebrate Christmas and I love, oh yes, Dr. Pat, you will see her eating her seafood with her bib on and her gloves on. And it is amazing. And I get so many laughs out of it, Dr. Pat, every time you post a picture of it. I can't imagine what people are thinking when she's at a restaurant with her gloves on and her bibs on, but she doesn't care. It's her. That's what she is. That's who she is. And she gets attention from it. So yes. Sherri, go ahead and tell us what your topic is, a little bit about you, and take it away, my friend.
All righty. So I took this very literally. So mine is like slightly different. It's the thing I just absolutely been sitting here thinking, I so love this. You asked 3 very powerful women. We all approached it differently, which is so amazing. And I think LaDonna knew that would happen, and it did. So my title is 5 proven strategies to maximize your holiday sales this season. So I took it very literally. So I'm actually going to be talking about like revenue generators. So mine's slightly different than the way they did it, which is fine. And I'm Sherri Leopold, and honestly, the thing I love doing most is cheerleading for other people. I just love helping other people. And this is one of my zones of genius, is what I'm actually going to do right now. I am the person that when people need to hit X amount of sales by whatever, it doesn't matter if it's even in a company that's competitive with what I am, they're calling me and I'm not even in their company. And I love to help them because it's something that really fills me up. So I'm going to talk about, and many of these things I have done over and over throughout the years. I've been in network marketing for over 26 years, and also in affiliate marketing. So done everything from soup to nuts. So, and have my own business that I talked about before with Wow Warriors. So there's a lot coming into these quick quick 5 things. I could give you probably 25, but for the sake of time, I chose 5. But the holiday season is the opportunity to boost your revenue. It's a prime season for that, right? But when there's so many brands and businesses out there, like trying to do the same thing, you have to ask yourself, how can I stand out? Well, you're going to stand out by being that walking story that I just said. I'm going to talk about these 5 things. You just mold them and think about them as how they will fit in your business. The first one is bundling products or services for added value. So what I mean by that is if you have a course, for example, maybe it's or a signature talk that you do or a workbook that you've designed, a course, whatever it is, create something that is a specialty holiday bundle so that they can get X with this thing, or you promote the new thing and this is an added bonus when they pre-order this. Maybe it's not coming out till January. So maybe it's an actual pre-sale, however that looks for you, but bundle things together. The reality is consumer patterns, you're going to buy when you see the highest value. And when you're present, like we've been talking about, and relevant, and you're there and you're visible, the moment that you make that high value offer is when they're going to purchase. And that's what's going to raise that income for you. So I encourage you to think about what things you have that will work together. If you have one thing and you don't have an extra thing, consider doing a group coaching class or a free master class with that only the people that purchase whatever that product is get to come to, even past students. There's all kinds of different kinds of specials you can run around that, and you can drop in my inbox because I love to talk those things out with people. But just remember that people are more likely to buy when they feel they're getting a full solution than just one piece of the puzzle. We want to get the whole puzzle. The second thing is hosting a holiday flash sale. So why it works is because that immediacy, that urgency, it's a very powerful motivator. It's that FOMO, right? And during the holidays, people are always looking for the quick deals because they know they won't last long. So what do we mean by flash sale? It's about setting a specific time frame, whether it's 24 to 48 hours, and you're going to promote it leading up to that. If you're only going to do it for 48 hours, you don't just pop up and go the next 48 hours. No, for 5 days prior, you Dr. Pat yourself and get on there and you go live and you drop a picture and you make silly pictures of your face going, don't miss it, or whatever it is, right? Saying, be ready. There's something dropping on Friday. You're not going to want to miss it. You have to make that leading up to that so that they're excited about that. And be sure to raise the frequency on the way to the sale, right? You can use hashtags like holiday flash sale or one day only, 48 hours only, whatever, to actually expand your reach on that also. If you're using it on your website or your landing page, I think it's really awesome to have like a countdown timer. I know if you've ever gone to a page and you see and you're like, oh, I didn't buy, but then you go back and you're like, oh, now there's only 2 hours left. It's like, I got to make a decision, right? Like that's what we're talking about with the flash sale, is that's that feeling of urgency and that FOMO. The third one is to create and leverage your social media campaigns so that they actually point to what you want, right? Especially during the holidays, because people are actively searching for those gift ideas, but they're also searching, especially business owners are searching for those things. They're going to help carry them into 2025. If you happen to have a solution for that, make it valuable enough in a way that appeals to them that they have to do that for their business, for the future goodness of their business. You can create different campaigns, countdowns. You can do a daily deal. And I think here's the thing, maybe thinking of like Heather with travel, maybe you can't do like a discounted or value offer, but maybe you can do like a campaign where you give a holiday travel tip, and it might be places to go, but it might be things that you do when you're going to travel, because so many people travel for the holidays. There's all different kinds of ways to do that. You can also share photos, videos, testimonials to build excitement around your offering. If you have a course that's coming out and you've had people take it before, dropping testimonials in there. with the added watch, there's going to be a very great special coming up, creating that excitement, right? I encourage you to ask questions or create polls. Somebody mentioned sharing like holiday traditions and different things like that. When you ask, especially on Facebook, Instagram, like, people mostly want to talk about themselves. So you have to ask something. And there's never a time that you don't have something you can post. And this is what I always say: if you don't know what to post, go, hey, would you rather have with your peanut butter sandwich grape jelly or strawberry jelly or no jelly? Like, you always have a post no matter what, because you can always put an opinion post up of something. So in this particular case, where it's talking about holiday sales, ask things that are related to what you want to promote, right? So, because engagement's going to be that key. And the example that I like to give and then I like to coach on is, if you have, let's see, I'm trying to think who I could use. Okay, so like maybe Marla has a fourplex picture. That's what I call it. I don't know what it's called, but like a picture with 4 different pictures, right? A, B, C, D, or 1, 2, 3, 4. And she might be saying, hey, calling all you speakers, have a question for you. Which one are you? And the first picture might be like this, on the edge of your seat to ready to go out to stage, scared spitless to speak. It might be the line. The other one might be, powerful pro, ready for, a stadium. I don't know, whatever it is. And then you have people comment where they are in there, and with whatever your ideal client is, who are you trying to reach most, and then they comment what they are. Or sometimes it's, they're an emotional thing. 1, 2, 3, 4 might be 4 different emotions, and rank them in order of the thing that is the most used. That might be 4, 2, 1, 3, or it might be, sometimes there's food things. It doesn't matter what it is, but you want to get in conversations. It's the number one thing: get in conversations. You don't get in conversations on your page. You say, oh my gosh, thank you so much for sharing. Love it. And then you drop in their inbox and you say, hey, thank you so much. Oh my gosh. Obviously you want to speak, but you put scared spitless. What is it that you're scared of, or how long has this been an issue, or what do you really want to speak about, even though you're scared? You're starting the conversation. That's the thing. Start the conversation, right? That's the piece that we want to make sure. But those pictures where you ask questions and I just create mine in Canva. I just coached one of my clients to do this she's a yoga educator, like, which part of you hurts most? And if you could remove that pain, put the number. So what she did was that. Why? Because she can get them into her inbox for a conversation and ask them how she can serve them. But once they're in the inbox, people will share a lot more with you. They might not, some people will share openly there, but you're just asking them to help you understand your client, right? The more comments you have on there, the more people that are going to see it. So anyway, it's great for course creators, content creators, people who have service businesses, who have network marketing, any of those. It works for all of them. All right, the fourth one is collaborating with influencers. Why does this work? Because influencers help you access a larger targeted audience who already trust their opinions. A recommendation from someone they follow can lead to a significant boost in your visibility and credibility. And Dr. Pat is amazing at this. She just pointed out to you when she spoke that this is exactly what this relationship she has established with this group of people, where they help each other. These are like power teams for that engagement. So consider doing that. Now, when I say collaborate with influencers, I also want to expand a little bit on that, because identifying influencers who share your target audience but aren't necessarily your direct competitors. Maybe you do some of the same things, but you have a different focus, or you teach differently, whatever. But I think reach out and find those people who you can work with. They'll be the same people that you can do summits with and different things like that, and create bigger things on down the road by starting now. Now, you might just say, hey, I just would love to do a live interview with you on social media. let's talk about what we do and let's just have an open conversation. It's not like you're inviting people to an event, but you're being relevant and being out there. That's the one thing, sharing your story. As I said, you're a walking story. That's going to be how you're going to expand that influence and to their network as well as you're sharing your network. It is truly a collaboration. The other thing that you can do is, as I mentioned before, if you don't have a post, have a list of people that you want to share what they're doing, right? That you were like, okay, I know they have a course coming up or they have a membership opening up. I want to share about what that is. Have those people in there so that you can, cross promote each other. The other thing, one of the things, and I don't think I said this, I meant to say it in another piece, but like when you have specials where you're doing things, I love the 12 days of Christmas. This is an idea that just popped in today when I was on my way home today, but it's not the traditional, the 12 days of Christmas where like people will, or the 8 days of Hanukkah, either way, whatever works for your network. And you can do both. I mean, even if you have you're one, but not the other, you can celebrate the other by offering a special. Like there's nothing that says you can't, just be relevant. But whether it's advice that you're giving or whether it's those 12 days, one of the things that you can do, and I really want you to think about this, go find 11 collaborative partners who will give a value piece or a gift for those 11 days. You're the 12th person. Now you have 12 people total, including yourself, sharing whatever you've put forth. There's 12 people on here. We could do it on here, right? Like the reality is, and you could do it with more than one person. You could do it with 20 people. If you can keep it up, you make a post or a video that has a special whatever, and that's on the 12 days. And each person agrees to, throughout their socials, post that. Right. So, I mean, it's just an idea that I had. I was like, that is really cool. But anyway, the other thing I wanted to say quick is to provide exclusive access to new products. If you have something coming up, especially like in January, February, you're going to be opening something up, have that incoming, like if you want to call it a beta price, whatever, introductory price, early adopter, whatever you want to call it in the beginning. And they get a benefit for believing in what you're doing. And you give them special access to something, whether it's a private group coaching, a special 15-minute one-on-one with you, whatever it is, for adopting that specific thing that you're sharing, that even though the product may not be coming out until January. So that's, offer exclusive access. If you have already customers, if they will share for you, then perhaps they're in a drawing to win that product completely free, and use a special hashtag so that you can track that for them, which you can ask me if you don't understand what I just said. Frame that as a VIP experience, right? Like they're going to get something special for helping you get the word out. That's them, your network, helping you build your network. And that early access is, once again, FOMO. I didn't miss out. I'm going to be in there, sharing that. So I just want to close with saying, we have to remember that we have to create value with what we're doing. We have to have urgency, but also exclusivity, right? It has to feel really important and special coming from you as the business owners, because the holidays are not just about making sales, but creating lasting impressions. And when you make your customers feel valued and excited, they'll remember you long after the sale is done, right? Because they'll fall in love with you as a person and they'll share you without you asking, because you are memorable. And that's my advice to you, is to stand up and stand out as that unrepeatable miracle that you are, and be memorable. And I do have a worksheet with what I just went over with the tips so that you didn't have to write it all down. I forgot to say that at the beginning. So I will drop that in the chat. All you have to do is just hit the link and then you can save the document as well. So
Perfect. You're putting that in the chat now, Sherri? Perfect. All right. Who has a question for Sherri? She gave us a lot of great ideas. that we can do from here on out, not just in November and December, but every week, every day. I mean, we don't have to have a reason to give something away to help others. And folks, so many of us miss out when we do not collaborate with others. We must, if we're going to create the financial success that we want. It's that famous saying, you're leaving money on the table if you're not collaborating.
True.
It just is. I speak it, I teach it, it's just the real truth. Real, raw, real true. Don't leave money on the table. Stop it. Just stop it. You have to grab it and run with it. Run with it and put it in the bank. So who has a question for Sherri? Nadia.
Sherri, I love all, I've been talking with you, I've been listening to you, and all the things that you always tell me, it's to the point, and I love it. I wanted to ask you about this new thing that you said, that 12th day of Christmas. What you suggest, who's the best to actually collaborate with?
Well, I think that probably is up to you. I think you could have a really wide variety. I don't actually think you would have to have a totally specific thing. Like, I don't think, like, for myself, I don't think I would invite every person that has a magazine or a TV show to be there. It wouldn't make sense, right? But, you know, like LaDonna has the networking group. So like, that's one thing. You know, I might have something where I am doing something that is for becoming an author, you know, whatever, for the magazine and submitting an article. Maybe Marla might be doing a thing for her workshop to be a better speaker, you know, and Dr. Pat might have something about be visible on LinkedIn. It might be very specific for her. So like each day, something is going to be related to them. I think the key is not necessarily who the people are or what they have. The key is who you're asking, who's going to do what they said they will do. That's the question, because you have to have somebody who is going to commit to posting each person's special across their socials in that day that is assigned to them. So and you need 11, you'll be 12.
That's key right there, I believe,
Yep.
Sherri. That is the key. Everyone is not as dedicated as you are. That's what you need to remember.
And I encourage direct communication in that via either a messenger chat, like, okay, where they go in and say, I posted today, LaDonna, was your day. And because the order of it is going to be up to the individual, right? The thing is, and you're going to have those rules, like you tag me in the post, which they'll have to do if they're scheduling. They may have to go in afterwards and tag if you don't see it. But the point is, you want people who are going to be consistently showing up and doing what they said they'll do. That's actually just a conversation. And I would say, Nadia, listen, do you want to be one of my 11? This is what I need from you. I've got to have you post every other person's schedule in there, or, you know, their special scheduled day on the day at whatever time that you've agreed for it to go out. You know, and you go back in and tag that person so that they can see it and so that it will hit their page, right? Maybe it might even be an agreement with the 11 people that they are connected so that, you know, it won't be like oh, you can't see their people because you're not friends kind of thing. You know, those kind of things need to be thought out in advance. But I think it's a really good way to do it. And you might decide, you know, I don't want to do that. Maybe I just want to have 12 days where I give tips on a great event, like for Nadia, you know, like how to have your best event. You know, I mean, you could do that.
Dr. Pat, would you like to add something to this?
Thanks, Nadia.
A great question.
Yeah. I'm just enjoying everything Sherri said. I mean, because it's true, you know, and I was taking some notes here and then I turned the page. But at any rate, she said something very, to me, that was essential. And that is, you got to have people that you can count on. You know, that it has to be people that like social media.
Yes.
Yes.
Because if they like social media, they would do it. But if they don't like social media, those are not the ones you want.
Right.
And trust me, there are a lot of people that have social media skills
Yes.
and they understand the process. But it does take time to find the right people.
Yes. Yeah, and I also think, Dr. Pat, it might be a thing where you go and you get those 11 people and 8 of them are great and 3 of them you want to knock in the head. But you don't, you just say next. Like when you do something like that again, that person is not allowed in the bubble, so to speak, because you have to show up to the level of professionalism that I have to be able to move forward with me. And I know Dr. Pat and I get that because we're totally on the same page on that. That's an important thing. And it sounds mean kind of, but the reality is it's business. And if you don't want to be the broke joke, you need to work with people who work in a professional manner, who understand that, oops, I forgot to post yours. That is unacceptable. That is not work. I'm not talking about if you have a death in the family or something. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, oh, I forgot kind of thing. That is not the kind of business owner that you want to work with. You may have to ask a lot of questions to make sure that person is going to, if you don't know them well, to do what they say they're going to do.
Yeah, and I would just jump in too, because I love this idea because it goes back to that whole relevancy thing, right? Use the holiday, 12 days of Christmas. Use that because everybody can relate to it. And you know what? Worst comes to worst, someone doesn't post, you get an extra post that day. So instead of just being number 12, you can be 5, 8, and 12. So, worst comes to worst. And so you can still make it work no matter what. And then, yeah, communication is key, really communicating with the people you're collaborating with. But
Yeah.
it's a great idea because then, anything that has a continuation, people love that, right? You're kind of building suspense, I wonder what number 7 is going to be after number 6 happened. So, even when you're doing videos, it's good to do, something brief and then say to be continued in the next video, or next time I'm going to talk about blah, blah, blah. And people love that. They like to, sort of have a little mystery and something to look forward to.
I love these ideas. And Sherri, on that fact, I was thinking to myself, why are we waiting till the 12th day of Christmas? Let's do something in November also. So why don't we?
And there's plenty of time to even do 7 days of thankfulness, whatever you want to do. You just have to have enough time where people can get their stuff together, so that it can be executed well.
Each person has a certain thing that they're going to talk about, but relate it to the business, for giving dinner or, your birthday. Maybe it's your birthday month. Talk about your birthday, so many occasions that we just do it. Again, I keep going back to just get it done, and putting a tribe together to help you get it done makes you even stronger. It makes you look stronger. And I'm going to go back to my story, that I teach people in my bubble. Only a certain amount of people fit into your bubble. Those are the people you can trust. Everyone's not in my bubble today. They may be tomorrow, but not today. They haven't earned it. So make sure that you're staying within that tribe that you can trust. Because if you can trust them, others can trust them. I can send anyone to Sherri, Marla, Dr. Pat, and I know they will be well taken care of. Nothing will be dropped, because that's what we want to be able to do, is to help each other. We have went over time just a little bit, but I think that it's been way over the amount of knowledge that we have received. It has been well taken. Please, before we go, everyone add into the chat about you, how to reach you. Make it easy, because if I have to hunt you down, maybe I will and maybe I won't, because I'm very busy. But I want to talk to Faith. I've never talked to Faith. I want to talk to Faith. I haven't talked to Alicia in a while. I want to talk to Alicia. I haven't talked to Heather about her trip. Richard and I, it's been a few weeks since we talked. I haven't talked to Margaret in a while. Let's get back into reality. We must stay in touch and know what everyone's doing because I have no idea when Margaret's having her next event. Well, I just found out the other day that Richard has something on Friday and Saturday afternoons. Now I'm trying to clear out my schedule to be there for him and to learn from what he's doing. That's what it's about. I know that Dr. Pat has an event coming up soon. She's put the information in the chat. I have some things coming up I have put into the chat. Heather, what do you have coming up? Did you put it in the chat? Tamara, Faye, Margaret, Sherri, everyone. Let's fill up that chat. Let's save that chat. Does everyone know how to save the chat? Okay, I'm seeing nods, so yes, perfect. All right.
I want to just say, LaDonna, real quick. I have a couple classes coming up. They'll be in January, but actually what I do have coming up, I'm currently already starting my Wow Warrior selection for 2025. So that is already underway. So if you don't know what that is, you should click the link and talk to me.
When is your next magazine coming out? Have we already missed the deadline for it?
No. It'll be out December 5th. Probably the latest I'd like to have an article would be November 15th.
Perfect.
So, yep, they can
And
still
you
get
know
in on
what?
that
I
too.
learned the hard way. Don't wait till the last second because it stresses everyone out. We know it's November 15th. If you want to be in the magazine, contact Sherri, find out how to do it, and just get your article in right away. It doesn't take that long. And Boo Boo says hello to everyone. She wants to make sure that everyone knows she's here. So, all right, save the chat. Thank you very much and have a great
Thanks, LaDonna. Thanks, everyone.
bye.
Thanks, thank you.